So let me start, I think, by telling you about Sherlock. So Sherlock is a reporting tool very similar to Power BI. So you use it to create visualizations, dashboards, KPIs, etc. Anybody who's worked with Power BI knows that one of the hardest parts of building a visualization is getting the data into Power BI. And that's where Sherlock really shines. We automatically use Sherlock to extract the data from all the files in your Caseware ecosystem and make it available to you so that you can easily build dashboards. So Sherlock is a really powerful tool. If you have access to all your Caseware data in one place, it really lets you start to make meaningful insights from the data in your Caseware ecosystem. So here's some examples on screen to illustrate the quality of the visualizations that can be created. As you can see, it lets you do bar charts, pie charts, KPIs, pivot tables, etc. So you get all the functionality of Power BI within the Caseware ecosystem. I think these visualizations look very, very nice. The next part of Sherlock, over and above the stunning visualizations that can be created, is the entire ETL process, which automatically happens. So ETL stands for extract, transform, and load. On screen is a representation of how this data flows into Sherlock. So data can, in step one, you've got data in your Caseware ecosystem. So data can reside in desktop files, smart engagement files, and even in Caseware Cloud itself. All that data will then get extracted nightly and transformed into usable tables. When we then load this data into your firm's personal data lake, where it inherits all the Caseware Cloud security protocols by default, and then we are able to create dashboards to help you. And the first dashboard we have created is the Sherlock Engagement Report. So in summary, I think just on this slide, it's important to note that when it comes to building effective visualizations, it's always important to get the latest data in a clean state. And that's one of the hardest parts of BI reporting. I think with Sherlock, we've gone a long way in making this process as easy as possible. So we understand that you all are accountants and you all just need the data at your fingertips in an easy way. So you didn't want to get involved in the extraction process, in creating the data lake process, or in even building some of the dashboards. That's where the value of Sherlock really lies. It makes BI reporting simple and easy for accountants. Just in summary, I think Sherlock lets you get a bird's eye view of the data in your Caseware ecosystem. It's an easy to use platform. We intend productizing it as much as possible to save you the hassle of having to learn a new technology. And we intend releasing more plug and play dashboards after this first one. Obviously, this first one is specifically designed to help you with the annual IRBA submission. I want to talk a little bit more about the Sherlock Engagement Report and take you into our confidence as to why we chose the Sherlock Engagement Report as the first dashboard. We at Caseware are good at compliance. The annual IRBA submission is compliance reporting. Starting here was the first and most logical step, and obviously we'll move into other areas. Now that all the data is in a data lake, it becomes very easy to report and dashboard key insights that apply to your firm. You will see now that the data with this product in Sherlock Engagement Report, you'll see how easily the data is consolidated. Our solutions leverages sign-off functionality, and everybody's familiar with sign-off functionality within the desktop products, to ensure accuracy of the information. A big problem when it comes to BI reporting is the quality of the data. And by us leveraging the sign-off functionality, you can be assured that you're getting quality information the first time round. You have filters to control efficiency and aggregation of specific data, and lets you drill down to the lowest level. So without any further ado, I will now hand you over to Nakukanya.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nogukanya. I am the product owner for Cloud Services, and I will take us through the journey of the Sherlock Engagement Report. Okay, so I'll start off with the overview of the Sherlock Engagement Report journey. So the journey starts when you need to complete your annual URBA submission document and take all the data from the different engagements and put it all in one Excel sheet and submit it to URBA. So where we start, and that's the journey that I'll follow, is on a Caseware working paper file. We've added the Sherlock engagement document, which allows you to complete all the information required for this URBA submission. And then through that, there's an overnight extraction process where the data is extracted into Sherlock and will then appear on the Sherlock engagement report. So this happens every night. So I'll just finally take you through the demo of the software from the Caseware working paper file. So it's important that each Caseware working paper file has this document so that it can collate all the information required for this submission. So I'll just open the document. So the document we have designed is called the Sherlock engagement document. It sits on every engagement file, and it will collect this data, which will then be extracted into the Sherlock engagement report. So what you'll see when you open it is that you are able to start completing it. So you'll have your version number and the name of the document. What's important here is that we have grouped this document according to audit stages, engagement planning, and engagement finalization. So we'll start off with engagement planning. So the first question you get there is whether this is an assurance engagement. So as you know, the reporting is mainly for assurance engagement. So if the answer is a no, then that's where the journey ends. So just to revert there, that answer, if the answer is a yes, then we continue then asking the relevant questions to gather all the data for the Sherlock engagement report. So what's nice that we have done with this document is that we have automated the process where you need to gather different data from the different engagements and put it on this document so that it is then submitted with multiple engagements in one Excel document. So what we've done is that when the information is there on the engagement, we've pre-populated this information. So you will see that the registered name is available. So it's already there. If you are happy with the answer, you can just click on it to accept the answer. So as you go down, you'll notice that the structure of the questions is similar to the assurance declaration document that you need to submit to URBA. So we are pretty much gathering the data that is there on the engagements. And if it's not there, you are then able to type in the information so that it sits there and it will also be extracted. So if you're happy with the answer, like I said, you just click on it and accept it. If you're not happy with the answer, you can revert, double click and retype. Okay, so just do that as an example. And where there is selections, you are able to then select the correct answer there. So for demo purposes, I'll just go through this quickly. You will notice that some are already completed. What you can do is just select the right ones. And what we've also added there is guidance. So guidance allows you, where the information was pre-populated, the guidance allows you to find out the actual source of the data. So when you click on the guidance, you'll be able to go back. If it's the info store, you'll be able to see where that data is coming from. Okay, so what's also important that we've added is we've added sign-offs for each answer there. What's nice is that when you sign off, you can see the user that signed it off, And you are also able to see the date when it was signed off. So you can see that I'm this user and it was signed off today. And you can do this for each of the answers as you go through each document. Okay, so you can complete this until you get to the end, right? So as I mentioned, it is grouped according to engagement planning and engagement finalization. So you'll see that when you get to engagement finalization, there's more questions, and you can accept it if you agree with the answer, or you can also make selections where it's necessary and add some sign-offs there. And that's how you would complete the document. So what's nice is that once you've completed, you can just save the document. Once you save this document, overnight, the data will be extracted into Sherlock and into the Sherlock engagement report. So what's also nice, I'm just going to show you guys the sign-off process quickly. Once you've completed the document, you can just right-click and add the usual sign-offs, whether it's by planning by, reviewed, performed by, and final review. So you can tick this as you go along. So once you've done this for one engagement, you can do it for multiple engagements, and that's how the data will then be extracted into Sherlock. So we will now move on to Sherlock Caseware Cloud. So you'll have to be on your Caseware Cloud instance to view all of this information. So I've logged into the Caseware Cloud instance. And if you would like to see the extraction status of all these engagements, you will go to Sherlock Starter, and you will get the Sherlock Starter when you have gotten all the licenses. So this allows you to see the extraction status of all the engagements. So I've gone to Sherlock Starter, which is under settings, and I've gone to processing messages that shows us the different statuses. So what's nice is that you are able to see the source of the engagement, whether it's a cloud, working papers, local, which is the desktop, or just cloud engagements. You are able to see the source of these engagements. You are also able to see the status, whether it was successful, if it failed, if it's pending, validating, and if the engagement was deleted. So you'll be able to see that all under Sherlock Starter. Okay, once you've done that, when the data is successfully extracted, you should be able to navigate to your hamburger menu on top, and you'll see that a new app has been added called Sherlock Reader. So Sherlock Reader allows you to view all the visualizations that have been created, and we have created the Sherlock engagement report. So I'm just going to click on it and open the Sherlock engagement report. So we are excited to show you guys this solution because we believe it will help with the submission process for the URBA annual return that you need to submit every year. So the Sherlock engagement report, we have built it along with other tabs that I will explain further that help in the process. So starting with the Sherlock engagement report, we have added controls that allow you to dynamically change your data of the table. So you can, if you would like to be able to see specific entities, you are able to do the selection. If you want to be able to select specific files, you are also able to do the selections. And we have also added a date range, which allows you to see all engagements that you have worked on in the date range that you pick. So we've added a start date if you would like to see all the engagements that have been last modified in the last year, for example. You are able to select those dates and put the end date as the end of the year there. This allows you to dynamically display the data that you would like to see. And this is quite important for submissions. If you started working on the upcoming submission, for example, 1 January 2025, you are then able to select that start date and the end date, assuming it might be in December and so forth. And you'll be able to select that and see all the engagements that you would like to submit for the URBA declaration process. So on the engagement report itself, what we've done is we have prepared it in the format that is given on the assurance work declaration. So starting from client name, you are able to see that these are the fields that are required on the assurance work declaration. So you will see as we go forward, we have all the headings as per the latest assurance work declaration. So what we've also added there to assist in the submission process is whether the engagements are high risk or low risk assurance work. So you'll be able to then filter and separate the two for submission purposes. So what we have at the beginning there is references. So we have references for when these engagements were last modified, the file name and entity name. So you are able to then export this report to Excel, and you'll be able to remove the first 3 columns there and have all the columns required for the assurance work declaration form. What's also nice is that if you have a lot of documents, you can actually export this to CSV. As you can see, the problem of automating the processes around gathering data from different engagements to submit on this assurance work declaration form has been done. We have collated all the information through the Sherlock engagement document to this report that allows you to then export to Excel and be able to fill in the blanks where there is no information. So we have marked that with no value where there is no information. So in that area, you will then be able to manually add the information that is required there. This then allows you to export into Excel and get ready for the submissions. So what's also nice is that we have also given you assurance by adding the number of engagements that you're working with. So if you just scroll, you can see that for demo purposes, we're just working with 10 engagements, but whether it's up to 4,000, 12,000, you'll be able to see your engagements and the total number of engagements that you're working with. That is the Sherlock engagement report, and we hope that this will then solve that problem of manually trying to get data from different engagements to prepare for the annual assurance work declaration form that needs to be submitted to URBA. What we have also added is document management. So what document management allows you to do is it allows then the managing of the Sherlock engagement document. Like I say, this document is very important because this is the document that collates all the information that is required for the Sherlock engagement report. So on the document management, what we have added is we've added the ability to be able to track the working paper files that do have the Sherlock engagement and the engagement document, and the working paper files that do not have the Sherlock engagement documents. So what's important there is that the ones that do have the Sherlock engagement document, the data that is on there will be pre-populated on the Sherlock engagement report. Where the working paper files do not have the Sherlock engagement document, and there are also assurance engagements, the document will need to be added so that that information could be extracted and could also be part of the Sherlock engagement report. What we have also added is the sign-off, tracking of the sign-off status of the Sherlock engagement document. So as I showed you earlier, you are able to sign off this document by planning by, reviewed by, performed by, and final review. So we have added something that shows you if these engagements have been fully signed off or not. And the call to action where it hasn't been signed off is that you can actually maintain that list, keep track of it, and also following up on the sign-offs. What we have also done to ensure that you only report on assurance engagements is that we have added a table where we show which ones are assurance engagements and which ones are not. So in a situation where there was a no, we have given the no. If it's a yes, we have given the yes. And where no selection was made, we do also bring that up so that if it's specifically for assurance engagements, you can just exclude the no's. And where there is no selection made, you can go and make that selection. Okay, we've also added reconcile files. So what this allows us to do is that it allows for the process of making sure that the integrity, the data is accurate. What you see on Sherlock is what you are seeing on Caseware Cloud working papers. So this is for data integrity purposes. What we have done is we've given detailed steps of how you can reconcile the data that you see on Sherlock and the data that you see on Caseware Cloud working papers. The importance here is that we make sure that you have all the data that you need for the Sherlock engagement report and for submission purposes. So we have detailed that we have a table that shows you all the files that you're working with, when they were last modified, and so forth. Okay, so that's all on reconcile files. But what we've also added is our help guide. So we've created a getting started series on our success community that allows you to get started on the Sherlock engagement report. So what we've included here is the introduction of what is Sherlock. We've included the prerequisites of what you need for Sherlock, how to set up Sherlock, the Sherlock engagement report itself and how that works. We've also included frequently asked questions that have come up. So that will be it on the Sherlock engagement report. We are excited to show you this solution, and we hope that you'll start using it soon as you anticipate the next submission of the assurance work declaration document to URBA. Thank you, guys. I will now hand back to Mo.
What we've demonstrated to you now is that you've got a case view document which enables you to collect all the required information. We automatically populate that information if the information already exists into that Caseware file, and that document follows the normal sign-off procedures that are already in place in your firm so that you can maintain accuracy of the data, or you can place reliance on the accuracy of the data. Once that document is filled in nightly, the data then flows up to Caseware Cloud and into Sherlock. And the first step in the process is to reconcile the data from Caseware Cloud to Sherlock. We've given you the ability to reconcile the data from Caseware Cloud to Sherlock just to make sure that you are taking into account all the files that you need to or have worked on during that year. Further to that, we've added controls as part of the second tab on the dashboard, which enables you to see which documents have been signed off or have not been signed off. It enables you to see which files don't have the Sherlock document, for example, and many other things. But it gives you all the controls that you need to ensure accuracy of the data. Once you've confirmed the accuracy of the data, we've then went and compiled all the information into a report. This report you can then export to Excel. If, for example, some information is still missing, like the billing information, this report can then be merged with the data from your ERP system to make sure that you automate as much of this process as possible. We believe that this product solves a lot of the problems in compiling this annual report. So well done to Nokukanya, and thanks for that demo. Then I think I want to just take you through how we see Sherlock evolving through the next of the year. So we're starting now with the Sherlock engagement report. We're going into beta. We are looking for 5 clients to help us shape the product. I think we want to work closely with a few key clients. After this webinar, you'll receive an email asking you if you'd like to participate in the beta. Please respond to us and we'll go through all applicants and we'll get back to you to help us decide which 5 clients will work with us. So you can expect an email from us about that. And that'll take us until October. So the Sherlock engagement report, we're really looking forward to have it properly finalized and working and you all have shaped the product to be as meaningful as possible from now till October. We're going to use that time to do that. In October, we will release our software and then you all can do your firm templates, have the Sherlock document within your firm template, and you can really use the product for end of next year, the 2026 reporting requirements. So that'll be Q2 and Q4. I think in Q3, we're also going to be releasing the builder version of the product. The builder version of the product is where you can build any report that you want on your own. So it's not a dashboard that we'll be supplying. You'll just get the behind the scene tools to put together tables or pivot tables or dashboards, and we'll just teach you how to use it. And then you'd be able to build the dashboards yourself, should you wish to go that route. And further to that, I think from beginning of next year or later this year, we will then start releasing more dashboards. These dashboards is obviously, there was a statutory compliance requirement, but we're looking to do dashboards to help the firm admins, to do a bit of project management. And we're really looking to get guidance from you on how you'd like us to, or what dashboards you'd like us to build.